Hi guys. I have been a little busy this week building and dismantling things that I didn't really like, but I've been playing around with the video that we had to review for this week and playing around with the shapes and linking things, and it's been helpful. This week I've also constructed a door with the code, so now if you go in and you touch the door, it'll open for you, and you can, or you should be able, if I make this a little lower here, that little, you should be able to look in. And then once you're through, if you want to, you should be able to close the door, or not. Oh, I mean, okay, so if you're not selecting it to edit it, you should be able to close it. And I'll actually do a little video on this because it has to do with the code that I would like to teach to make this interactive. So I will try to do that as quick as possible. So we'll just do very basic shapes here. Okay, so we'll go to build and we'll take out a square, not a square. What is it called? Oh, the regular builder. Oh, it doesn't matter. Let's see. So I want to make it flat. So then I will go to the size and just play around with this because I still forget which is which. Okay, so that's how long it is. So I don't want it to be quite that long. Let's see, 4 meters. Nah, 2 meters. Yeah, I guess that's good. Then I'll change this to 1 meter. Oh, that's the wrong one. I actually want this to be half. Maybe even less. Maybe 0.2. Okay, so now this, I want it to be 5 meters long, tall. Maybe 3. Alright, that's good. Alright, so if we take this guy, yeah, and by selecting our shift key, we make a copy of it. Alright, we put it right next to it. And then we make another copy. Okay, so for this one, we're going to stretch it down to make just a sliver. Okay, and then now we're going to move it and put it right next to it, right next to our pursued door. Okay, now we can check this way. I want to put it right next to it. It always gives me trouble. Okay, that's pretty good. So now we're going to select the door first, and let's make it a different texture so that we can recognize it better as a door. And we're going to use some cedar. Yeah, cement block, why not? Okay, and then we're going to make another copy of this. And put this here. And then we really should make another copy. And to make a door frame. And let's make this guy 3 feet. Oh, 2 feet. I think it's this one. 10 feet. Okay, I don't need that much. Okay. Maybe I needed 7. Alright, that's close enough. We can always stretch it and reduce its size. Now rotate, stretch. Okay, so now we select our door. Let's zoom in here. Select our door first, press shift, select the little guy right next to it, go to build, and we do link. Okay, so now if we touch the store and say the rotation on here, I want it to be a 90 degree, then it's a 90 degree towards us. Okay, so if you had done that without having that little piece there that holds it down, it would have done this. Yeah, so it would revolve on its center axis as opposed to on the side, because it's linked to the other guy that we're not applying the rotation to. So it's rotating on that. So this would be a nice idea for a revolving door, I guess. So let's set that back to 0 here. All right. And let's do this one back to 0 too. Okay. So now if we select off of this and we click on it, nothing happens, right? We can't walk through it. We can't do anything with it. So let's say we have part of our interactivity is for people to open doors, to either select possible answers or do scavenger hunts. It's part of an activity, or they're going to reveal an answer to a riddle or some kind of game, right? So we want this to be interactive. So we want to click on our door and we want to go to content and we want to give it a new script. Okay, so I have been very busy studying scripts because I have never coded in my life. I've done like Excel code, very short code, so this is very hard for me. But I have been keeping a little journal of code, of all the code I have found useful and that I am going to teach in this course. So let's see. For this one, which I thought was the most difficult one, because the original script that comes with the default I wasn't going to use, so I had to view a couple of videos and go into this website right here, which I have saved to my, oops, the heck was that? Which I have saved to my bookmarks up here, the Second Life code. And there's a lot of useful information here. There's a lot of explanation. I mean, there's just tons and tons and tons of things you can learn here. But the point of this course is to compile this information and make it available for people who are not interested in learning to code, but they're interested in making this educational environment interactive for their students. So we're not going to worry about all this information, but I would like, I'm the one reading and learning on this. Okay, so I have compiled this journal here. Still uploading something. Okay, so I'm right here. Okay, so this is the one we used today. So I named it open and close door. Okay, so we can use our default, but then we have to put in a touch start code, because this is the part of the code that executes when the object is touched. So I gotta leave notes for myself because I'm not a coder. So let that know. The second part is the get local rotation. We're setting a rotation variable and setting it to be to the values of when the door is open. So when that door opens, it gives us values. So we need to write down those values, and I have done here. Down. Okay, because we are going to use that to set the equation, the formula, I mean. So basically it says, this part says, if the rotation z is equal to 0, meaning it's closed, then we have to open it. So in its open location, this is what the numbers are for the the values when it's open right here. So we set that in there, and then we do. But if it's not true or else, meaning the door's already open, then we need to close it. So here's when we set the rotation to 0. The Z and the S grids are set to 0. And then we got to close the formula by putting, by setting the local location to the variables right here. Okay, so that's how we close it. So those are the notes I left for myself. So then all I have to do now, since I have constructed this code and I know it works, I'm just going to copy it. And I'm going to take it to my Firestorm and I'm going to delete this and I'm going to replace it. I'm just going to do copy paste and I'm going to save it, and it should save because it's the same code that my other door has. Sometimes it takes a while now. It makes me very nervous. And I have had wrong stuff in there, like I've missed the semicolons, and just every little bit counts. If it tells you that something's wrong, it'll tell you the number of the line you're wrong, and which is very helpful. So you can go in and try to find out what you're missing, because the computer, this program is not wrong. You're probably missing a part of it. It's still saving. It says compiled successful, save complete. Woohoo! Okay, so we can close out of here and close this. So technically, if we click off of it and we're like, oh, so what's the answer to the question, guys? And then I walk to the door, and before, you know, I can't cross over it, but I have to click on it, and there's the answer to the question. Woohoo! I'm in the other dimension or whatever. I don't know. Whatever the interactivity, you know, you're setting for your students. Okay, so here's where the other part of the code comes in, where it says if the door is already open, then all we have to do is close it. So all we go in is click it and close. Okay, so that's it may not look like a lot, but actually looking for all that code and putting it in there and testing it, it took me a long time. This is I'm very happy with this, and I think this is going to be very helpful to know how to make this space interactive. Okay, so thanks, guys.